Testing, testing. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Thank you for coming here today. Australia Day.
Yes.
The day they are trying to take away from us. They want us to hate our own national identity and who we are as a people. They want to beat us down to nothing. They have struck us with inflation, taxes, rental shortages, mass immigration. It's never ending. It does not stop. It does not stop until we say it is enough. How much longer do we have to deal with this? We sit there, and you're probably like me. You lay in bed at night. You lay in bed at night.
You lay in bed at night and you look at the roof and you think, more bills piling up, more tax being stolen from my wage, more and more immigrants coming into the country, jumping on welfare and stealing our wealth. I don't know about you, but I do not work my ass off to pay for other people from a foreign country to come here and live on welfare. I want to retire one day, but the way it's looking, we'll be working until we're dead. And that will happen if we don't stand up. This is the reality of things. And a lot of people don't like to face reality. It scares them. It's like looking in the mirror and challenging yourself, looking at your own beliefs and trying to figure out who you are as a person, what your purpose is, and what you're going to do in this life. You see, I've been doing this since 2015. I'm the former leader of Reclaim Australia and the United Patriots Front. And I have been arrested, charged, I've lost jobs, but I never gave up. When the system came for me, I never gave up. When my neighbours thought that I was a drug dealer because sometimes I'd have the police at my house 4 times a week for standing up for my people. And I'd say to the police, how come the African community can speak for their people, the Chinese community can speak for their people, but when I speak for my fellow Australian, I am demonised. I am dragged over the hot coals and treated like garbage. So, we've built this nation. Many people have built this nation. People you're related to, you have a direct blood connection to, have built this nation.
Yes.
So why would we build a thriving nation to hand it over to people that had nothing to do with building it?
Exactly.
Tell me that makes sense.
Yes.
That's like building up a vintage car to give it away to a junkie on welfare and saying, here you go, mate, you deserve this.
Don't think so.
I don't think so either. But this is where we are. The way we can become victorious is if we have tribe. Look at everyone beside you. I want you to look at the people beside you, the people that you are here with, that you love, people that you don't even know, because they have the same views as you. When you're laying in bed at night and you're like, I feel alone in this fight, are there other people that think like me? What can I do? Look here today at all the people beside you. You think like me, you think like me, you think like me, and you think like me. So now we have a tribe of people that think like us, that want the same thing for this country. And that is a future for ourselves, a future for our children, where they are not attacked with machetes in the street like our brothers in Melbourne are experiencing, like our sisters who are being assaulted by third world Uber drivers sexually. I can go on and on. But if I mention this, I'm a racist.
I'll say this. If putting my own race first makes me a racist, then I'm the greatest racist you've ever seen.
Me too.
That's a
Try and give you a better view. There you go. It's better.
I've already spoken. What do you want to talk about? So, very unexpected today. Is that better? Very unexpected today that we would have so many youth
I know.
dragged out and lied to. Turn off. So, what were they told? What were they promised? We just had a look. They're all up at the Aboriginal embassy. So, you've got to wonder, what were they promised? Were they promised that they're going to have the land handed back? Didn't they listen to Klaus Schwab? You will own nothing.
And you'll be happy.
And you'll be happy. You'll eat bugs. It applies to them as much as it's supposed to apply to us.
I'm a betcha.
So the mixed messaging coming out of the World Economic Forum, which, by the way, Trump went over and had a bit of fun at.
Yeah. Trump is a part of the problem.
Trump is part of the problem. So is Macron, so is all of them. The problem actually comes back to us from lazy voting. We have to take the blame for lazy voting.
It's easier to vote for a donkey than it is for
But you can't beat yourself up over it. We're not down, we're not out. We're not hungry yet. We're not eating bugs. Sausages are on the barbecue, not bugs. So, what are we going to do? We're going to talk to our friends, family, neighbours. No worries. Friends, family, neighbours. Geez, I'll be nice to have a voice tomorrow.
Sorry, guys. Hang on, headphones.
Friends, family, neighbours, even strangers, work colleagues. You're going to have a chat.
Let's do it every day.
Call IT.
I bought that one, doesn't matter. I don't need it. So what are we going to do? We're going to have a strong, continual conversation. Who are we? Why are we here? What are we doing? What is our future? Our future is our future as we choose to make it.
Yes.
Australia is a multicultural country, has been for a long time.
Yes. Yes.
But what are you doing? Multiculturalism is becoming a problem.
Difference between a migrant and an immigrant.
Multiculturalism. Multiculturalism is not the problem. The entire world is multicultural.
Yes.
You can hop on an aeroplane in half an hour and get off the other side of the planet in 12. Couldn't do that 200 years ago. Took 3 months. And the food tastes like shit. Salted beef for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Maybe a bit of porridge if you're lucky. And I guarantee that porridge had bugs in it. So what are we going to do? We're going to pick up the conversation. Australia is multicultural,
Yes.
but not biased
That's it.
with large amounts from one nation only. We want to maintain multicultural immigration because Aussies like to travel. We want to go to other countries still. I guarantee you go to any country on this planet, you'll find an Aussie and a Kiwi. We have to remind the Parliament, the politicians, the bureaucrats are actually the real problem. Politicians come and go. We have to remind them that they work for us. It's our tax money. And unless we can all stop paying taxes, we're going to keep funding our own demise.
Exactly.
But fellowship, don't let them make you think you're on your own. There's a lot of other things you need to look at. Who here has made efforts to protect their wealth? Anyone? Who bought silver? That's a 1 ounce coin. Who bought silver? We've been talking about it for a while. Few hands.
I got a silver necklace.
See this 50-cent piece?
See this 50-cent piece?
Oh, yes.
1966 Australian 50-cent piece. 80% silver. Face value 50 Australian cents. What does it buy you? Fuck all. What did it used to buy you?
Fucking everything.
I used to get a big bag of eucalyptus lollies. I mean, a big bag. When I was a kid. These do predate me. I'm a 1973 model. But this 50-cent piece here is worth $70. There is $70 of silver in it. That one has $150 of silver in it. What's also happening, along with multicultural bias, is the loss of our purchasing power. Now, you've seen silver basically triple in the last 12 months. You've seen gold go up significantly. Other metals are also climbing. Do you know what's coming later this year? Oil will probably go up to $300 a barrel. So you ain't going to be driving around very much. So you need to think about how you are going to survive in this inflationary environment. Make friends here today. Swap numbers, swap emails. Make a commitment to catch up with each other. We've also been talking about this stuff for a long time too. No one's ready for what's coming. They don't want us to know what's coming, but it is. Silver and gold lead the way. They tell you what's happening. So there's two ways to protect purchasing power. One is for diversification of your assets. The other one is knowledge. Learn, read, study, swap, share. And again, do it with friends. We're not just here to wave Australian flags. We're here to remind you that you're not alone. We're here to remind you that you don't have to have all the answers yourself. But you must form groups. You must form friendship groups and commit to help each other. It's the only way you're going to get through this, to have a country on the other side. It might sound a bit dire, but we have been talking about this for a while. It's easy to get distracted by the wrong things. It's a bit of a somber message. Now, a couple of shout outs. Wade from Billboard Battalion, unfortunately, he had a stroke around Christmas and he's still in hospital. Doesn't sound very good. So Wadey's on the paddle pop sticks here. We want to send our thoughts to Wade. And there's quite a few other people that for various reasons couldn't be here. We don't put any pressure on people to come. You contribute what you can. You give up your time. So if you want to come and say a few words to everybody, please come and say a few words. Don't get silly. Don't get silly. No, I'm not. Wasn't looking at you. You've already been silly. Come and have a go. Learn to be brave. Because you know what the government fears the most is people that are brave and people that will stand up. And we need more of them. That's why they put that show on this morning for us. But they got the time wrong. That's okay.
So if you want to come up and have a few words. Just give me your name quickly and I'll shout it out.
Hi all. This is taking considerable balls to get up here and speak to you all because I'm not a public speaker. First of all, thank you for your speech. Thank you everyone for coming here today. I'm quite passionate about this. I just wrote something because I didn't think I'd be able to remember it. So fellow Australians, today I'm here amongst all of you patriots holding the Australian flag. All right. I'm not here for unelected global forums, not for distant agendas, and not for any one-size-fits-all policy that doesn't fit our people. If a party bows to the World Economic Forum or any globalist pressure, instead of listening to everyday families like yourselves, then they don't deserve our vote. We need leaders with backbone that put national interests first, secure borders, fair and orderly immigration, strong communities, and a culture of respect and mateship. That includes the immigrants that have come here before. They join the support for Pauline, and we need to rebuild what made us resilient, an Australian industry built, bringing back manufacturing, backing our farmers, and build things here in Australia again instead of offshoring everything for slave labour. This is our country, our democracy, our future. Let's take it back peacefully, proudly, and not get involved in useless divisive debates that they want us to get involved with, i.e. when the media film this, they make sure that they post the narrative. And we can't get involved in that. We can't fight each other over what the media says. We need to be strong to our values and keep supporting it. And when those, I don't know, hypnotised uni students come after us because they've been brainwashed by their professors to come out and pretend that they're a minority group, but really they're not. They're one of us. This is big, guys. This is happening around the West. It's happening everywhere, and we need to back each other, but not fight each other.
Well said. I'll just check something. There were some big marches last night in England. I just can't remember the name of the town. No, it wasn't Manchester. Crowborough in the UK. Small town. Massive protests against forced immigration. And you've seen what's happening in England, where they've been forcibly kicking people out of motels and filling them up with monocultural immigrants who then become DoorDash delivery drivers. And you've seen the riots and what have you in Minneapolis, where the Somalians got themselves onto a good thing with the daycare centres with no kids in them. And if you look carefully in Australia, what do you think the NDIS is? The NDIS is becoming it's a millstone. Now, I'm from Nimidabel. We had an Australia Day event in Nimidabel this morning, about 2 hours from here. My wife and I, we've raised our family there. We've been in the Monero 20 years. We've been in Nimidabel 16 years. Every year, same event. There's awards, there's barbecue, there's tea and coffee. Everyone comes together from the village. 200 people in the village. We had 2 Australia Day events today. The fake blackfellas put one on down behind the Lions. The Lions didn't get the money, normally off the council, to pay for the barbecue. And there's a bloke that used to work for me about 15 years ago, old Artie. And he was wearing this brand new nylon, brand new Aboriginal shirt that says Yukonbong, which is some weird name they've given themselves. And I said, Artie, what are you doing here, mate? He's from Cooma. He says, oh, I found out I'm an Aboriginal. That was all organised for him. What we are seeing in America with the Somalis taking advantage of government programs, we are seeing all over Australia. And that's what we saw this morning. Organised, planned, scripted, funded. And that's why the media were there. So we just held our line. That's what we have to do. So remember that we can't fix all of the problems. We have to tackle them and expose them and commit to withstand them. There's no Trump coming for Australia. Not everyone would be happy with a Trump for Australia. But change will come. Look at the polling. The polling for Pauline.
Yes.
And remember that Pauline acknowledged that she needed to remove her name from the party because it was too limiting. All of these things are coming. But it requires us to keep turning up and to keep these conversations going. So, you want to have a quick word? Jump in? Well, you
I just wanted to say, props to our Indigenous that fought beside us in the wars, nobody really gives them props. But we are one nation and we need to keep it that way, and we need to fight for Pauline. We need Pauline Hanson.
Yes.
Well, along with Pauline, we've got Rennick. We've got Senator Antic, Alex Antic.
Yes.
He's a bit of a strong voice for reason. And we've got a whole bunch of, I'm going to use the word retards in the Liberal Party that really belong in the Labor Party. So we've got all these people out there that don't know whether they're boys and girls. We've also got all these politicians that don't know whether they're Labor or Liberal. We have a political crisis. Now, Pauline is certainly putting in some effort, and her branches started a bit late, but at least it's happening. Well, we've also got a Rennick. He started a branch in Canberra that did that last year. And Bernie's, unfortunately, she couldn't come today. She's overseas, but she's come and spoke at our rallies. Pauline also went to jail, remember? So we remember, we also have a new political prisoner with the mate from the NSN. I can't remember his bloody name. Too many of them. Joel Davis. Solitary confinement. No Bible. He asked for a Mein Kampf. I mean, it's a bit of a shit read, but anyway, it's his choice. He can't have a Bible, he can't have friends, and he can't have a lawyer. But the bloke that shot up Bondi, he gets the bloody special treatment. He gets his special book. So we do have political prisoners in this country. We always have. And who remembers Witness K out at the Alexander McConaughey Centre, and Bernard Cleary fighting because the Australian government put secret bugs in the embassy in Dili so that we could steal their gas and oil. We've done a lot of dishonourable things as a country over time, both Liberal and Labor. And I think what people are realising is that they don't have our interests generally at heart, have their own interests at heart. And we have to remind them they work for us. So it is a joy to stand here. I've been an independent candidate, bashing my head against the wall since 2013. But to look now upon you, all of you independent candidates, I think it's funny. You know that they did that recently with Pierre Poilievre in Canada. He lost his seat. He was the opposition leader, and he ran in a by-election. Someone said, oh, look, I'll jump out, cause a by-election. I think there were 1,200 candidates trying to stop him get elected. The ballot paper was so ridiculously wrong, they ran out of paper, and the polling officials were handing out blank sheets of paper and saying to the voters, can you just write down who you're voting for? on blank pieces of paper because the official ballot paper was, here to the ground. Fill up the ballot papers as independents. Because remember, by being an independent and self-declaring as an independent, you're right to political communication, political free speech. He's trying to find first gear. He'll get it. Now, if that was a real man, he would have actually burnt some rubber. There's not very many Y chromosomes in that specimen, I can tell you. You see how you can change the insult now? That was a nice insult. I've been using that a lot. Not many Y chromosomes in that one. It's not hate speech. Who remembers rubbery figures? The generation. Show your age, come on. Why was that okay? Why was that completely okay? Because Aussies take the piss out of themselves. Always have, and we always will. Now we've got this fetish where we can't offend everyone. So we offend everyone whilst trying to offend no one. This country is falling apart. So if you can think about joining the Renix Party or Pauline Hanson, you know what would be an even smarter idea? Join the Liberal Party. They got no members. I'm not even joking. Why do you think Barnaby Joyce left the New England National Branch and went to One Nation? Because the members of his branch all went to One Nation first. Last man standing. He had no choice. You know, there would be a dozen people in the Monero Liberals, a dozen members.
Everyone's sick of two parties, though. Everyone's sick of the two parties.
Everyone is sick of the two parties, but you know what? Take them over.
Still two parties.
Yeah, but they're in there. And they've got the money and we don't. We've got to think, we've got to be critical of each other too. I don't mind the criticism. We've got to explore ideas. Just thinking Pauline Hanson's going to save us isn't actually the answer. Part of it. We all play our part. We have a hell of a job ahead of us, people. And step one was reminding the media that Australia Day, the date will not be changed. And we're not changing the flag to some weird bending over, giving you a moon image. Whatever that. I actually know a Torres Strait Islander. One person. I don't know why they get their own special flag in our area. So, anyone else want to have a bit of a word? Please come on up. Hang on.
I won't be long. All I'm worried about is the fact that we have generations of children who've grown up in our very communist ideology education system. So now, we've got littlies, teens and young adults who are all pro-communist. They don't understand that they're pro-communist, but I think we somehow need to educate people of the downside of communism. No one knows, no one understands how bad it is. And it's all cloaked in different things like this the bill for the hate speech, so that people like us will end up being imprisoned once it gets a real grip on us. But that's just the beginnings. I just think that the divide and conquer aspect has been definitely taking place here and everywhere in the West. Yeah, the divide and fear and confusion, fear about the COVID bullshit, fear about the bloody environment, the weather, climate change thing. So they've got fear and confusion, and they've got divide and conquer going on. But as I say, I just feel that our education system has taught all these children and teens and young adults that communism is okay, and they don't even realise that it's communism.
That's all I wanted to say.
Well done.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Look, I was up at Parliament House, and of course, we all had the never seated mob come along. Well, I actually want to challenge that. You see, my ancestors, and I dare say some of yours, defended this country from the Imperial Japanese. And I know that spears and boomerangs are going to be no match for Japanese Zero. They effectively ceded to our grandparents or our great-grandparents back then, because they would have been nothing had we not been here. That's the first thing I'd like to say. Secondly, yes, we definitely need Pauline. Thank God for Pauline. But I'd also like to say that Australia First Party, of which I am part of, is on the verge of listing as a federal party. So you have more kids on the block, so to speak. Okay, so, you know, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Thank you.
So there you go, Australia first. We've got more options. Who wants another little fun fact about World War II with the Japanese? Who remembers the Australian government decided, yeah, fuck it, they can have Queensland Northern Territory. We'll hold the line at the Queensland border. You remember that? Were you taught that in school? I wasn't. It's true. The pullback line was basically the Queensland-New South Wales border. And they figured it's full of crocodiles and swamp and shit, they can just have it. And they were not going to defend Northern Australia. But you know who was going to defend Northern Australia? Every bloody farmer with a 303. So that's why it didn't happen. But that was the plan. The people in the White House then made that plan. We also were nearly a Dutch colony. Why is Tasmania originally called Van Diemen's Land? Why did Abel Tasman come to Tasmania? What about the Batavia that wrecked in the 1600s on the west coast of Western Australia? What about the red-haired Aborigines on the coast of Western Australia that was unable to be explained? Bit of Dutch blood. The wreck of the Batavia. Google it, read it. Fantastic story. Story of survival. You're basically on the desert side of Western Australia. You're wrecked. No mobile phone. You can't even send a smoke signal. You think the people on the land are going to eat you if you go to the land. And they had to try to fashion a craft out of all the smashed bits of the boat and get help while the others survived on the mainland because they were on an island with very, very little fresh water. Some decided to stay behind, hence the red hair infusion into the Australian Aborigine. Who knows your New Zealand history? How long have the Maori been in New Zealand? When did they get to New Zealand? 1200 AD. Maori have only been in New Zealand 1400 years. And if you go up to Mount Eden, I think it is above Auckland, there's some fantastic history under the volcanic layers where there's evidence of Moriori settlement. Moriori apparently came over from a migration from Chile 20,000 years ago. And have you ever heard the story of the Chatham Islands? Right down the bottom of New Zealand. Little settlement of people that were forgotten over the horizon. And the Maori didn't know they were there. And some of the white settlers that were coming after Cook landed in New Zealand and said, oh, we found some of you blokes over the horizon over there. So what did the Maori do? Jumped in the canoes, rowed over there, killed the men, enslaved the women to try to wipe out the fact that there were people before them. Is that taught in school? In the Auckland Museum. Go to Auckland, go to the Auckland, fantastic museum. Bloody great. You spend a day there. We need to learn the truth about our history. Like I said up there, the other thing, who here knows how they built the pyramids? I don't. Love to find out. There is so much we don't know because we are not allowed to know it. Make it your mission to learn. Make it your mission to teach and share your knowledge. Another bloke, come up, have a go. Oh, we flag protocol. Flag protocol.
I will hold your flag.
Thanks for that. Look, just a couple of thoughts, and I think there's probably majority of you aren't aware of what happened in the Whitlam years. He was a Labor Prime Minister, and he's been lauded all through the ages by all the Labor Party members. This man, he tried to sell Australia. He was trying to raise money from money lenders and brokers all over the world. And well, actually, one of his ministers, he ended up trying to do that. We now have another Labor Prime Minister who's, I believe, he's trying to give the country away. He's giving it to everyone else but us. He's not entitled to that. My friend here mentioned the line that was drawn southern Queensland as far as the government that we had at the time during the war years. That they weren't worried about Northern Australia. They were going to defend Southern Australia. Recently, there's been something happening over in the United States. And there's been a lobby against it for quite some time. There's Second Amendment, where they have the right to carry arms. America will never be taken over from outside forces. The reason for that is because so many of their countrymen have guns. And basically what's happening, or what was happening prior to Trump, was that there were forces on the left trying to take over from the inside. They were going to take over the country from internally. They're trying to do that here. And the only way we're going to stop that, we have to go to the elections, and we have to select carefully who we vote for. We got dudded last time. Let's not let it happen again. Think about who you're voting for, and think about where those preferences go, because it's bloody important.
And whilst you're all thinking about becoming independent candidates, who here's got a shooter's license? Do not put your hand up. Go and do an application for a shooter's license. If you found the conversation from Albo quite interesting, he's the ultimate gaslighter. There's more guns here than when we had the Port Arthur buyback. Well, the population's nearly doubled since then. So, of course, just do simple maths. But you know what they won't be happy with? Everybody putting in, women particularly. It's very hard for the system to say no to women. They can easily say to men, oh, you've got a speeding offence, you can't have a gun. All right? Character test. But you women, go and get your shooter's license. Join a shooting club. You know the other important thing? Go and learn how to shoot a gun. When I was in the Army Reserves, I joined Army Reserves when I was in high school, because adventurers got boring. And my first night at the Army Reserves at Albatross parachute training school, you're like, oh, I want to have a go at that big parachute jumping thing. Boys' own sort of shit, right? Very first night, Army Reserves, 17, freshly turned 17, strip and assemble M60 blindfolded. Where do I sign? When I went to recruit 2-week training, we had a bunch of women in with us, and they all had to shoot 20 rounds on the standard range, 20 rounds on the automatic range. All the women had brown and blue shoulders, because they didn't pay attention to how to shoot that SLR rifle. If you don't hold it tight, it'll give you a kiss. Go and join a shooting club. We've got to start doing the opposite of what the government says.
Yeah.
They don't want us to have guns. Go and get guns. Go and learn how to use guns. If you don't know how to drive a manual car, go and learn how to drive a manual car. If you don't know how to siphon petrol, well, go and learn how to siphon petrol. Might become handy one day. Learn how to plant a seed. Learn how to germinate seeds. Learn how to cook. Very important. That also goes to the men out there that rely on their women. Become, you beat me to my joke. Become a cooker. Become a cooker. We have to change. We have to change ourselves. We need to rely on ourselves more. How many of those kids that went walking today saying always was, always will be Aboriginal land, milk comes from a fridge? Right? How many of them would actually go, oh yeah, milk comes from a fridge?
All of them.
Maybe not all of them, but how many of them, I reckon, how many of them would have eaten a witchy grub?
None.
It's all bullshit. But we're also part of that as well. We have to step up. We really do. So, we've got a couple other fellas. I'm trying to think of a good joke for the HH. It's strictly a fashion accessory.
World-renowned sport brand, by the way. Alrighty. I'm no public speaker, but look, I'm a young person, and I look at my opportunities, my prospects, and I think some of these have been taken away. Some of these are not as they were 20 years ago, and I think, why is that? Well, how many people did we have 20 years ago? I don't know the number, but something has changed in our population. About 6 million, yes? Okay. Less. Yeah. Something has changed. And what has changed is the amount of immigrants in this country. Now, the current level of immigration is insane. We have hundreds upon hundreds every single day. And they come in and they buy a home, which they should be allowed to do. But they buy a home, they rent a house, they take a job. And I think, look, I'm born here. My ancestors have been here for over 250 years. And people will come in for a few months and they take a house. The house that I'm working to afford, that I'm working to own. And it's because of our biased government. Our government is biased not towards Australians, not towards the people who built this country, but towards people who come in and they provide votes, especially for the Labor Party. They come in and Albanese gets all these free votes from these immigrants. That's right. And it shows the bias. Another instance of this bias is, as was touched on before, Naveed Akram, the guy who went up and shot up innocent Australians on that beach in Bondi. He is in the same prison as was mentioned before, Joel Davis, and he is given 6 hours a day to go out, have a shower, do some exercise, get in the sun, while Joel, who stands up for Australian people, gets 0. He is not allowed any books. He is not even allowed a Holy Bible. And he has been in there with more and more, accusations and cases put against him to just put him in there, leave him in there longer and longer, denied bail again and again. And it is the bias of our government. The government hates people who stand up for Australians. That's true. They hate truth seekers. They hate truth itself. And we have in cities like Melbourne, Brisbane, everywhere around the country, we have people going around with machetes, we have people going around stabbing, killing Australians. It's not safe for your child to go out alone at night in Melbourne, inner city Melbourne. I do fear for if this current progress keeps going, these current problems persist, and I have children, how are they going to be? How am I going to let them go out on their own? So we need strong leaders in this country, strong leaders who are happy to make hard decisions.
And that's you, younger generation. You're our rising leaders.
And that's right, we need more of my generation to stand up, not to go ahead and go, always was, whatever. Those young people we saw up there, some of those which I probably know, some of those I probably went to school with. We need more to stand up and realise the truth, and to stand up for this country, to stand up for Christ, to stand up for what is right. Thank you. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Wait. We're gonna do something. I have never met this young fellow before. We're gonna do a little education lesson. Repeat after me. I am a young man.
I am a young man.
Not a young person. A young person is the politically correct bullshit version. You're a young man, and he might grow up to have kids. Yeah, this one's got a Y chromosome. So step one is be proud to be a man or a woman. Be proud to be neither. No one really gives a shit, honestly. But let's stop self-limiting ourselves to say person. Man or woman or something else. Doesn't matter. You know the other thing, watch any of the politicians speaking. None of them point anymore. They're always this. Look carefully at their hands. They're gesticulating. In my household, in my family, this is called Sean. And all of my kids, we have a Sean, and our Seans talk to each other. It might seem really silly, but I just can't get that past my head when I see politicians making a point on national TV like this. That has only happened in the last couple of years. It's a sock puppet without the sock, which is what the politician is. So these young fellas with their Helly Hansen sportswear are being targeted because they were apparently part of the Nationalist Socialist Network. Maybe they should have called it the National Social Network.
They could be memeing.
And it wouldn't have been a problem. But the problem really comes down to the lack of tolerance in the Labor Party, Liberal Party, and particularly the Greens. They cannot tolerate someone else's view. There's nothing wrong with these fellows. They were pushed away from community, told that they couldn't be men. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to go and learn how to beat each other up and run and jog and get fit. The natural response. And we're going to get a lot of criticism from having the Helly Hansens here. I say they're welcome. Not one of them has said anything stupid or outrageous to me. Not one of them needs to be cast aside.
Well, there's an
They are part of our community. And if we need something, we'd only have to sing out and they would lend us their arm or their muscle. That's how it works. It's just a modern version of Boy Scouts. It's Boy Scouts without all the silly shit. So I think we also stand against the government and say a true democracy involves all views, from the radical to the boring. So thank you for coming. Good to see you, young man. Anyone else want to have a go? We really need to start eating some sausages. I'm getting a bit hungry. How about we have a pause for a while? Come and have some water and some sausages and a bit of fellowship and mingling.
He'll have a sausage.
Yep.
Hello. Hello, cutie.
It's quite welcoming to see so many happy faces. So thank you all. Happy faces is what we want.
All right. I found you around the crowd before. There's someone in a purple wig here. She'll get you photos. Don't worry. There's people spread all through the shade, all the way there. If you go back to the previous stream, you'll see the crowd up at Parliament House. I think it should nearly be up by now. Anyway, thanks for joining in. Anyone who has it, happy Australia Day. I hope you're not all being sad sacks.